So a couple things we wanted to touch on tonight, this evening, this day. First, let's start with Van Halen.
Van Halen.
Now, we all love that Tattoo song.
Mm-hmm.
Tattoo, tattoo. But just read today that apparently Van Halen is on pace to do 185,000 copies first week.
See, that's crazy.
That is crazy. It's crazy in so many ways. Because, as you said, who does 185,000 anymore?
Yeah.
It's not really, there aren't many, bands, artists, anything that do 185,000 unless it's someone, huge.
Some huge radio hit, or someone who's been around for so long.
Yeah, and I guess with Van Halen, so much of it is nostalgia.
Right.
We've had it playing at work on and off, and a lot of people come in and go, oh, this kind of sounds like Van Halen. Like, they're not even sure that it's Van Halen.
Yeah.
It sounds like Van Halen. Then when you tell them it is Van Halen, like, oh, which album is this from? Like, oh, no, it's the new one. The new one? David Lee Roth sounds like he's 80, and he probably is. There were one or two. I almost reviewed the album for the site, and then I realized, that's not really what we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit into what we do. But,
well, how many years has it been since they released an album?
Oh my god. The last studio album was Van Halen 3. And honestly, I don't remember when that album came out. Gary Cherone was the front man at that point. They haven't released a new album. Here, let me give you the date there, Murmaider. Let me just look that up.
My name
for
is
you.
Justin.
Oh, your name is Justin, you're right.
Don't fucking call me anything else anymore.
Who the fuck are you?
Fucking asshole. I mean, Darrell.
Fedora. But yeah, Gary Cherone was the front man for that one, and that was, I'm trying to even, that was 1998. So it's been 14 years since they had a new album at all. After that, they did a couple new songs with David Lee Roth on the, there was the Van Halen Best of Volume 1, with a couple new songs with David Lee Roth. Then there was the Best of Both Worlds compilation that had new songs with Sammy Hagar. So we're talking 14 years since a studio album.
Now, how many copies did that one sell? Do you have a list
with
there?
Gary Cherone?
You have the newest album? Or the one before this one?
You know what? I don't know. Hang on. Let me see.
I just think it's crazy how, even if it's a bad album and a lot of people buy, I just feel like Van Halen could literally just put out anything at any time and they will make a lot of money off it, right?
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
Even if it's horrible. It could be 2 minutes of them just talking in the studio, but people will buy it.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that's part of the problem. And actually, that album was certified gold. Van Halen 3 was certified gold for shipments or sales of up to 500,000 copies, which is pretty scary because, that was Gary Cherone, who was the lead singer of the band Extreme for many, many years. That was his first and only album with Van Halen, and honestly, it was a steaming pile of shit, with the exception of the first single. The song Without You was actually pretty good, and then there was a song called Dirty Water Dog that I was a fan of.
What?
Dirty Water Dog. The sad part about the album actually was the final track on the album. It was a song called How Many Say I, sung by Eddie Van Halen himself. It was basically just piano and Eddie Van Halen singing in his deep voice. And it was like, it included such lyrics as, have you ever been quiet when she wanted to talk, or couldn't keep quiet when she needed a hug? Yeah, now that's not what you want from Van Halen.
No.
That's just not. Yeah. So, we'll see where this new album ends up. I mean, the first week of 185,000 obviously is a good start.
Yeah.
And another band, old-time band who have announced a comeback, Black Sabbath, are doing their big reunion shit.
Right.
With Ozzy Osbourne as the front man again. But there's a couple side notes to all of that. First and foremost, Tony Iommi has cancer. He has lymphoma.
Right.
So we don't know what's going on with that. And more recently, they've announced that Bill Ward, who was their longtime drummer, they're not letting him do any of this.
No?
Because he thinks the money from all of these ventures should be divided more evenly.
Right.
And they say, fuck you. Like that.
Seriously?
Yeah. So he basically said, well, if we can't work something out. And they basically said, well, then fuck you, don't do it.
Yeah.
So now all the rumors are swirling of who's going to play drums for Black Sabbath on all of this shit. I guess the most recent rumor is that Ozzy Osbourne's solo drummer, whose name escapes me at this exact moment, is going to be filling in. But I guess at this point, again, it's all just rumor.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. So I guess some fans have started a Facebook page. I don't remember what the page is called, but it's basically something, having to do with there is no Black Sabbath without Bill Ward, and they're trying to get 1 million people to like the page to force the band to include him. Not that they can force them to do anything.
That's not going to do shit, yeah.
And no one's going to boycott. I mean, if you have a chance to see Black Sabbath, and considering how old they all are, and obviously Tony Iommi with cancer and all,
right?
This is probably going to be your last chance. So I don't think anyone's going to skip out on it because of it.
Yeah.
So, interesting thought there.
You said Slayer is going to come out with a new album.
Slayer has a new album coming out. Yeah.
This year?
Yeah, that's what I thought it said. I mean, there was an interview recently with, I don't remember who it was, if it was Kerry King or Tom Araya.
Yeah, I think it was King.
Where he was talking about, the writing process for the new album. And when did World Painted Blood come out? That was their last album, right?
2009, yeah.
So, I mean, it's been...
Yeah, 3 years, yeah. I'm glad that they're still keeping up, because when they came out with God Hates Us All in 2001, they didn't come out with a new one until 2006 with Christ Illusion.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit of a gap, more than 3 years of a gap,
No, and depending on who you ask, obviously, that could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, yeah. I wasn't crazy about Christ Illusion, but I really liked World Painted Blood.
And you were. I'm not going to say you were alone in that, but you were definitely in the minority.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people really hated that album.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's good that they're still going, that they're still keeping consistent within 3 to 5 years for a new album. I don't want them to take a 10-year break like Van Halen, 14-year break.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's just not. It's just not.
Yeah, any band, yeah.
And I was just kind of cruising Blabbermouth looking for the interview with Tom Araya, and it is on there. It's very, very small, but it's kind of talking about the writing process and everything. But I just noticed something I want to touch on very quickly. They do reviews on Blabbermouth as well, and I just wanted to touch on their Lacuna Coil review.
Oh yeah.
Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, you gave it a 4.
Right.
The writer for them, Scott Alisoglu, gave it an 8.5 out of 10.
Well,
saying that it is a mix of powerful low-end mammoth riff crunch, addictive hooks, and gothic atmospherics. It's as seamless as it is powerful.
Oh, is he listening to Nightwish?
And it says that the inclusion of the REM cover, Losing My Religion, does nothing to detract from the album flow, and in fact reinforces what the group has accomplished with this release. So, blabbermouth.com, blabbermouth.net reviews, you never have to read those again.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm not surprised, because...
well, are they signed to Roadrunner?
That's an interesting... No, Century Media, actually.
Because you know how...
Well, yeah, Roadrunner is
Roadrunner and Blabbermouth.
Yeah, that's where it's hosted and everything. Yeah. That would be pretty shitty.
They blow all their
I don't like most of their reviews, but they gave Lamb of God 8 out of 10, so some of them are good.
Yeah.
I just think some of their reviewers are just not very bright. But whatever, it's all opinion.
Yeah.
It's all opinion.
I suppose. No, mine's fact. Mine is a fact.
Yeah. Yes. Murmaider gives you
Justin.
a fact.
My name is Justin.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why you gotta be a dick, Scott? You're such a
Darrell.
dick.
My name is Darrell. This is bad. We're this is new. So anyway, so there's another quick burst of shit. Got some good reviews coming next week too.
You just said a quick burst of shit.
Quick burst of shit. Yep, done. It's like one of those shits where you sit down, and by the time you get your ass on the seat, it's done.
Buddy.
Well, buddy, indeed. So, on that note, let me go through the chain of shit that we usually have to say. The chain of shit, not the chain of shit. We're going to say that you should be listening to Light and Darkness Radio.
Yes.
Because I've noticed on his Facebook page that he's not garnering any more likes, Yeah. He needs to get more likes. He's got 961. And I think that if, you guys all go and like his page and our page, then, he can get to 1,000 and so can we. So you should go do that right now. We'll wait.
Yeah, right now.
We're not going to wait.
Go.
So do that. Like all of our shit. Our Facebook, Twitter,
Tumblr.
MySpace, Tumblr, Google+,
Yep.
all that shit. Make sure you follow us on all of those things and stuff. And
make sure you pick up a copy of the sampler.
Yep, pick up a copy of the sampler. Make sure you go check out the track list again and order your copy. We want to get shipping out some more samplers because we have some happy customers who are very, very pleased with what we put together.
Yeah.
And we're very pleased with it too. So you should get yours before they're gone. They won't be around all that much longer.
Yep.
And next week, I'm actually semi-excited to say that I'm doing a review next week for a band called Arc. And their EP is titled Shatner, after William Shatner. The cover of the EP is actually a picture of William Shatner.
Huh.
So, very excited to talk about that, because I
All
think
right.
you're going to really like what you hear there. So, Murmaider, otherwise known as Justin, forever shall now be known as Justin,
That's
even though I keep calling I can call him Murmaider. That's our word.
Yeah.
Call him that. I knew him before he was Murmaider. So, you have anything else you'd like to add to this burst of shit? One thing I actually wanted to point out before we go is that above, there's a few things I really like in the world. I like metal. I like my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
I like sports. But mainly above all that, I like turtles.